Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Barrel's Garage. Look at that. I am a whole whopping 6 minutes late to my own live. Had to reboot my router and stuff. I just got a new router in for the internet. And yeah, it looks like it's working pretty good, but yeah, it took a little bit getting used to. Anyway, who else we got in here? Hey, Landon, what's going on? Junkyard D, good to see you, man. First responder, always good to see you. Auto Salvage Outlaws, Unfinished Project, up. Great to see you, man. Twisted Mopar Garage. Oh, see, I hope I sure didn't miss anybody. And again, I apologize about being late. It took me a little bit to get that new router to fire back up. Anyway, back in here. So what's everybody been doing? Oh, I better throw the invite out there. Copy that link. And we'll toss this out there to anybody wanting to hop on in. Let's talk about big blocks, dreams, aspirations, and, well, anything else might come up. Oh. So as you guys seen in my little bitty short video there, I did come across another 460. And, well, the price was right on it. I have no idea if it's any good or not, but it's got some key pieces that I absolutely need. It's another internal balanced one. And that one just so happens to have the old kit from the, looks like it's from the early 80s. Anyway, long story short, these internal balanced 460s, the D1 blocks, never came offered with a manual transmission. So you're stuck with an automatic. Later on, with the aluminum bell housing ones in the later 80s, they finally started offering them again in the manual transmission. Well, I happened to get a rock crusher, or better known as a top loader, board for it. So I had to grab a hold of that 460 for the bell housing and the spacer plates and the zero balanced flywheel and clutch plate for a manual transmission. And it fits in there perfect. So that was the biggest score I got on that. Now it looks like Cousin Mike's here. We might just do a live here on how to pull apart a 3 on the tree steering column and strip it down, get that the old column shifter off of there. Is that one going to be narrow enough?
Oh,
yeah, that one's a whole lot narrower than mine. The steering wheel puller I got, I see I got an old steering wheel here. You can see on these old steering wheels, the 2 center bolts where you got to put your steering wheel puller are really close together. And the only steering wheel puller I got is about that wide. So Landon had to show up and bring me another puller. Something gonna work? Let's see, let's fire up the YouTube side here too. Mute tab. There we go. Good Lord, this is, one of these days I'm going to get organized. And I don't know what's going to happen. Pin message. There we go. There we go. I got it pinned up to the top corner. Now we'll move the screen over. Like that there. And we'll tear apart this steering column. I think you got a ratchet there.
I'm young and screw.
Better go in by feel, huh? Just left Dust Devil's garage, huh? Good deal, Twisted. O'Brien, he's a pretty good guy. Cousin Mike gets things going. That's right.
Easy.
Now I'm gonna jump over here and give him a little bit of a hand. Get my mic stand set up here. There we go.
It's going sideways.
Let loose.
Oh, moly, hit the keeper out there. It's going sideways, not pulling straight. Line her up straight and put an impact on.
What size is it?
Big bolts. 9/16.
9/16. I'll try it. Everything's worth a try. Keep those on there good.
I'll put a wrench in there and then I can pry it straight.
The curse of the live. Nothing ever goes right when you're doing it live. If I wouldn't have fired up the internet there,
It pops right
that
off.
would be off.
I pulled it off by hand. Okay.
Got her?
She's pretty straight there.
Man, this is pulling thread.
Oh, man.
Jimmy Dandy.
Been on there a day or two.
I might just be one.
Yeah. Those are 1/2 inch.
A 1/2 inch.
Man, you need some short little.
Whoa.
It's a big one. Then it's a short one.
I'll grab my set over here. Try this again. Anybody on here laughing at us yet?
I think everybody's laughing.
Everybody's laughing at us. Huh?
Yeah, there's supposed to be one here.
Probably fell out. Oh.
Shorter bolts. Good time.
Good times, good times. Damn head out of the way here so we can see what the hell's going on.
Hubie's here.
Hubie, hey, we need a hand, Hubie.
Don't have enough people to pull a steering wheel.
And the threads a little bit.
It'd be funny if you impacted that in and it popped the steering wheel. Man, it's hot out here.
Made in China.
That means it's a good one.
And the quarters are small. About 5, 6 inches, not small. And we'll give it some of Mama's little helper so she can go running for the shelter. I already have it, so. What the hell? Did I put that sucker back?
Oh, better with the nut on there. Holding in.
One of the knee there. Come on, baby, get started. Start this thing.
Ari probably come in here and JB welded it on there.
Pretty straight.
Yeah. About the center. There she goes.
Needed some of that crystal blue persuasion.
Feel my fat melting in here.
Sweet as butter. I bet you they tweaked the splines when they were beating the piss out of it, trying to get it off without a puller.
Yeah. Probably. We got it all. We won. Yeah, I'll bet they're supposed to be. Fell off.
Easy way to clean this off. She don't. 9/16, half inch. I sure do wish they would make them brighter
Mr.
and
Bucks
bigger.
in here.
First responder. Hey, there we go. Oh, what's going on, Damien?
Uh-oh. Oh, there we got speakers now.
Try that again. Say something. There, I can kind of hear you. Hey, there, I heard something.
All right, what about now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Transmission fan for the cooler. I'm
Oh,
wiring it. Working on the truck, man.
is that the Durango?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's so. Yeah, what you guys up to?
Oh, playing with rust.
Nice. That's always fun.
Yep.
If it's shiny and nice, it ain't fun. It's got to be rusted, seized, and broken.
Oh man, I do not miss that. No. Mm-mm.
Let's follow this up, see if we can get this on camera. I've seen a lot of people destroy these things trying to get them apart, but it's actually extremely simple.
Get back up there.
That's basically the column. When you get these out, you got to take the whole box and everything because they're all connected. So you got, ideally, you pull the steering wheel first, and then you can work it out of the hole. This is the grommet here that covers the hole. It gives you plenty enough room to get the whole thing out. I've already gone through and I pulled the bolt out of the clamp on the bottom, but to get this off, it's pretty simple. Let's see. Once you get that off, you get the steering wheel off, she'll all come loose. Got that out of the way. And she'll slide. After you've undone the collar down here, it'll all slide out in one piece. Oh, the bushing that I was after. Greasy, oily mess. It's clear full of 90 weight. Now, let's see, get it to zoom there.
And what's that out of?
This is the column out of the 58 Ford.
Oh, okay.
Pretty standard for all three on the trees. Come on. Okay. Like I said, I've already pulled the bottom collar off of this, but there's two bolts that hold the collar on. Once you pull that off, she'll release. There's a pin right underneath here. Yeah, give it a wrench. Boy, they buggered this one on here good. They have me a flat blade screwdriver. Oh, there it is right there. You just take a little flat blade. This piece on the back side, I think you can see it there. It's actually a clamp, runs down over here. And then there's a pin in the middle of here. Just work your screwdriver in, give it a pop. She'll come loose. Come here. Come here. Pull your front seal off. That piece. The tension washer. Set that there, and you pull your arms apart. the shifter arms. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
The other one was much easier.
Yeah, this one here is pretty,
Dry and tight.
pretty dry.
Oh, camera's on.
There's one. I always try to keep them in order. There's a slot in it right there. That's where your shift pin goes in. And the shift pin is right here. Push that sucker out. Pull your other arm. The other tension washer. Set them back together like that. That's how they work. This one right here, this hole right here, this groove, it's actually for the greaser. Goes together like so. And they'll slide when you're working your shifter back and forth. Get that back out. That pin holds them together like so. And as you're working your shifter back and forth, that's what separates the two arms to go either, let's see, this one's first in reverse, this one's second and third, or direct drive. Anyway, super simple, and it's almost the exact as a floor shifter. It's just in the column. Pretty simple.
Cool.
Take them apart like that though, and you can clean them up. As long as these are good, it'll shift pretty good. But a lot of the problems with the column shifter is these, what do you call these, Damien? These flex washers like this. I
Wait,
call
put
it tension
put
washers.
it, flip it. Like a tension washer,
Yeah,
looks like.
they're just a
Got the little,
bent washer.
little bumps on them.
I call them like a tension washer.
The pressure on them just, it's like a spring is what it is.
Yeah.
Those will wear out sometimes. You can replace them. But that's a lot of your slop in your shifter. Anyway, we'll get this
Hey, Tim Windsor, how's it going?
piece out. Now, if
Ari.
you do it up like I'm doing and stripping them out, this piece is actually spot welded into there, into the comb right here. So you got to get in there and cut this bracket out of there. Right here. But it comes out pretty simple. And while you're doing it, especially on a Ford, this piece right here that holds this up onto the dash mount piece.
Yeah.
Very careful not to break this guy. They're unobtainium. They don't make them anymore. Without that, it won't hold up straight on the dash.
Can I see that closer?
This piece here, it's made to separate like this, and then when you tighten it up to the dash here, it pinches that up tight again.
Gotcha.
But after age and everything, and boy, I got to be careful because somebody tried to pull this steering wheel without a steering wheel puller, and they were jerking on it. They bent the rod, and they've got a good sized crack there. So I got to be careful because this is the only one I got now. And the junkyard is fresh out of them.
Wow.
Kind of a pain in the butt because you got to put the grommet onto it, the floor steel onto it, and assemble it all before you stick it up into the car. and then the crush bushing. These bushings, this is what goes in the top part of the column to
Mhm.
keep their steering wheel from rattling. They've got a slit in them there, and as you tighten the steering wheel down, that compresses up against the main shaft and holds your steering wheel straight. That one looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Mhm.
The new aftermarket ones you get are plastic. These ones are brass. The aftermarket ones don't work with a crap.
I gotta grab some tools.
They're made out of Chinesium. I gotta go to work.
You got to head on out.
Yeah, so you come pull your wheel.
Thanks. Sure appreciate that. Say hi to the horses for me.
Yeah.
Ah. Let's see, how far behind am I in the chat now? I learned a lot of that in the restoration shop. When you're dealing with a lot of stuff like that, that is one little piece, like that steering column.
Yeah.
Piece that can shut your whole project down for months. So just be real careful when you're taking stuff apart. With those cracks and stuff in it, I ain't worried about it because there's actually a cover piece that covers it. You never see it, but
Right. Now that's something you can't weld, can you?
no, it's pot metal. It's all the dust that was on the floor that they forged.
Oh, that's terrible. I wonder if that's something that could be made from a laser cutter or plasma cutting table.
I thought about it. We had what year was it? 40, I think it was a 49 Buick that we were working on that we had to come up with something like that with.
Wow. So I talked to Don over at the wait, what did he say? I asked Google, find me some upstanding citizens who are working on cool stuff. This live showed up, so I'm here. Hello,
See
everyone.
what you did, Damien?
Dancing alone with rentals.
Google knew you was in here, man.
Not me. So I was talking to Don at the fab shop, and trans brakes really don't like leaf springs, right? Because wrap up. And he's like, there's a guy that runs leaf spring packs, and that's all he does. And he runs a trans brake, right? And he's like, we can make you some brackets like that. And I'm like, what? I got like 20 days, because you got to have a week to like set up for the stuff. It's a long trip for me, 8 hours. I mean, it's not too long, but it's long enough. And these brackets, they hang down about 5-6 inches, something like that. And they weld in place. And it has bearing slides. It's an L-shaped bearing slide, right? So when you're at rest, it's at the top of the slide in the corner. And then when your suspension travels, it allows the leaf spring to, roll back and forth where that top slide is. But when you launch it and the axle starts to wrap, that leaf spring gets shorter and allows it to travel down. And what it does is it it lifts the body up and plants the tires.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's
That's
like an
pretty cool.
L-shaped slide. Yeah. So he was
'Cause
thinking
with
about making those. And
Leaf
I'm like, I
spring,
don't know. That's I mean, we're talking about 24 days, and I still got to get I just got a true track for it. That's ordered. I still got to get a drive shaft. I got to put 411 gears or 410 gears in it, and shoot, I don't even have time to put the drag hubs on. So
yeah, it's down to the wire now.
yeah, I definitely want to get the 410 in there though, but all that other stuff's probably gonna have to wait.
But you are going with trans brake in it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I probably won't give it all it's got off the line. I don't want to be breaking springs and
Yeah.
dumping U joints. So
It just shock loads it is what happens.
yeah.
It just wham.
Yeah. No.
And on a leaf spring, you can't tie down you can't put like a center link on it to tie the rear end down because the leaf springs actually move when
Yeah.
it goes up and down. You
Yeah.
actually change wheelbase a little bit.
Yeah, that suspension and steering geometry is cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
we were setting up the bump steer on a circle track car, and the guy's tire, like when he offloads a tire when he's in the throttle, and then when he goes into the turn, it shimmies the tire, right? So like the old Dodges, when you drag race them after a certain speed, they get that shape. That's your bump steer. You got to set that. Well, after you set the bump steer, the car never did it, and it'll actually turn through the dirt. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Learned that the other day. But yeah.
Chassis setup and design is just it's every bit as much as building an engine.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Bump steer, whew, those is bad words. That's when you hit a bump and change lanes. And it decides on what lane.
Yeah.
That was actually the drawback of the shoebox Fords. They came
Really?
from the factory with massive bump steer. And it ties into why Ford is a front sump now. Because the
Oh,
white
wow.
was originally slated to have the oil sump in the rear. But they lost their bacon on that shoebox, and the chassis department took all the money to fix it in a hurry because people were getting killed.
Holy smokes.
But they make a kit for that helps it quite a bit, and it changes your spindles over to early 70s, like Torino LTD type stuff. And
Were they just a different geometry for that car?
yeah, it was a floating center link.
Ah, okay.
So every time, well, it wasn't, full floating, of course, and the geometry is way off, and it had kingpins and not ball joints, and it was just a recipe for total disaster. I fixed mine by putting it on an S10. Bone stock though on that shoebox, you can get up on the front bumper and jump up and down on it and watch the steering wheel go like this.
Jesus. That's bad. Holy cow. All right.
And if you ever seen the movie Thunder Road, best car movie ever, right in the opening scene when Robert Mitchum is outrunning the revenue guys in a 50 Ford, and you see him come around that bend, and then he loses it, and you can see what's going on. The car starts doing this, and then he rolls it, but then it cuts away, and he's still driving it. That actually wasn't planned. That's that bump steer in action.
What was it called again?
Thunder Road with Robert Mitchum. Come out in 58, 59.
You know a movie I've been wanting to watch?
That's the reason I have a shoebox now, because that movie ruined my life. Made me a Ford fan.
I wanted to see that one where that this old Chevy is underneath the football field. It's the same. It's the same name as the guy in the airplanes. Catch Me If You Can, I think it is. I guess it's an old Chevy underneath the football field. It was like it ran through the city in some amount of time, and then like 20 years later or whatever, how many years later, it did it again or something like that. I only saw like bits and pieces of the movie. I could never see it. Like Netflix doesn't have it. I checked around. I don't know. Just can't find it.
You find the name of it, let me know.
Yeah, I think it's Catch Me If You Can. I'm not sure though.
Because that don't sound familiar, and that sounds like a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And then My Science Project, 1967 or 1969, I think, or whatever. That's a good one. That had a GTO. Yeah.
I remember a movie back in the 80s called Book of Love,
Uh-huh.
and they pull I think it's a 46, 47 Ford. In fact, it looks kind of like the Karate Kid car. They pull it out of a lake, and then they fix it up so he can go get a girl, and it's a pretty good movie.
Or was it one where the kid had some crappy car, would never run, and they put some sort of diesel engine in it? And then the next morning, the diesel engine was gone. That was another one. I saw that when I was a kid. I don't know.
Your car was in Book of Love, hubby? Wow, that's pretty cool.
Hubie, really? I
That's
have to
pretty
look that one up. All right, I gotta grab some zip ties.
Catch Me If You Can, huh? I'm gonna have to find that movie. Your red and white 55 Chevy Bel Air was in that movie, huh? That's pretty doggone cool.
That is very cool. That's very cool.
Some
Hey,
cars,
JB's in the shop.
and some.
JB is in the chat.
Yeah, JB's floating around in here.
Hot Rod.
Corvair, there still is there's two aftermarket companies that are making for Corvair, but yeah, stack your wallet pretty good.
Hey, if anyone's in Ohio, Cleveland area, on 55th and Marginal, there's an ODOT, Department of Transportation. Next door, the guy has 20 Corvairs in the back lot.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yep.
He done bought all of them. They still use a lot of Corvair in the off-road world. That's why there's
Off-road?
aftermarket for them.
Interesting.
It's a perfect transaxle for a V6. Or build like sand rails and stuff like that. Or you use the Corvair. You can get quite a bit of power out of them little things. Back in the 80s, that's what my dad run, was a Corvair.
What did those have in it?
Oh, that little flat six. I can't even remember what size they were. But they did come with the turbocharger in the Monzas.
Yeah, the Monzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a stove
Corvair
converter.
Monza.
Converter, and I remember that. They had that small converter.
Yeah. They were pretty cool cars.
Yeah,
I always wanted to take one and stick a V8 up front of one, though.
any car is cool with a V8.
Either that or a Volkswagen squareback wagon. I would love to put a big block Ford up front of them, one of them. When I was little, my mom had an orange one, a burnt, that Volkswagen nasty burnt orange color.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mom had one of them. We used to go to the drive-in and stuff in it.
Had the tan interior.
Oh yeah, horsehair. So you open the door on a Volkswagen, it's got that unique smell. Yeah, it's horse sweat.
German leather. All right.
It's on Tubi TV for free, huh? Cousin Mike found it,
What is it?
and it was Catch Me If You Can. I guess
Really?
it's on Tubi TV.
Tubi? It's Tubi. Never heard of it.
We get it on our Fire Stick. It's free,
Mm-hmm.
They bombard you with ads, but you can watch a movie for free.
Yeah, Fire Stick was. I mean, I got a Fire Stick, but I haven't used it in so long. It's like now I just got like HBO and Netflix, and
Yeah.
I dropped Disney.
Oh, like a hot rock.
Yeah. So,
Ray's Diner in Santa Monica. I've actually been there. Santa Monica, where Route 66 ends. Or begins, depending on which way you're going, I guess.
well, it's finally hooked up.
There you go.
Yeah. It's all right.
That's your cooler?
Yeah.
Tranny cooler?
Yes.
Does it grab enough air back there?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. I mean, a lot of work to do. Hey, hi. You want to see a real custom exhaust? There you go. Oh man, yeah. So
You got the fans going on that. Are you pushing or pulling?
I think I set this up for pushing.
For pushing?
Yeah.
I'd keep your eye on it. If you do get a little warm, switch her over. Because I think that'll be right in that vacuum area.
I'll do that.
Because they'll run either direction.
I got it kind of rigged up right now. I got a 120 degree switch in the pan. Just kind of ground the relay.
Uh-huh.
And Just trying to get this thing together. You gotta do what you can, right? Fast.
What made me think of that is a lot of the glide trucks that had theirs mounted, their tranny cooler mounted kind of similar to that, and they would get hot.
Yeah.
We
I
took
might have to.
more down and open, but you don't have ground clearance for that.
Yeah, I may have to. I may have to play with the angle or whatever. Try and get some air in there.
Pretty weird underneath the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a 66 squareback. The little thing would pull the front tires. Yep. You get them hopping. I used to
I
get
had a.
my dad's bug. You get it hopping a little, and then you time it just right. And when it starts to raise, you nail it, and that sucker would come up and walk it.
Had an 84 GMC Jimmy. Had a 2.8 in it, manual trans. Front shocks were blown. So you get that thing hopping. Yep. And then when you're ready for it, you slam second gear and ride it.
Yep. Full power band and let her come. Yep.
Oh man, the things you do when you're kids, huh?
That was my dad's car. Woo. I learned it by accident because he had one of those stupid roller gas pedals. Remember those back in the 80s and 70s?
Where it would climb?
No, just a gas pedal with a roller on the end. It was like it looked like a bushing mounted to a straight bar, and that was your gas pedal. But if your foot got hopping, or especially if you're just learning the clutch at the time, your foot will bounce off that and it'll keep you rocking because it's rolling, and it just makes it 10 times worse.
What's going on?
That's how I actually learned how to do it. It was by complete accident trying to learn a clutch.
Oh man.
Then I had to figure out how to get the car back in the exact same spot before Dad got home.
Oh, why is the car leaning? Huh? I just got here myself.
Dune buggy pedal. Yep, you've seen them a lot on those and Bajas. Bug Pack made. I think that's what Dad's was a Bug Pack. Scat was another one that made them.
Dune buggy pedal.
They're a pain in the butt. Don't ever put one in. Yeah, get all your buddies to lean on the back. Used to be a guy in here that ran a front half big block Chevy Corvair. That thing could move. Boy, I'll bet you, because those little Corvairs don't weigh anything. But boy, you got to do something to the front end because, whew, you think early A-body Mopars got light control arms. Take a look under a Corvair. Those are spooky light. Those control arms are about as, I think this screwdriver is bigger around than they are. And the sway bar is about that big around. They're little.
Sounds like bad business right there.
Probably part of the reason they made you run real low tire pressure in the front.
And it's been a while since I worked on this. I forgot how I got it wired. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Get to working on one project, come to a standstill, got to order something, get working on another.
Yep.
Just piles up.
Pretty soon you got about 6 half-done projects running around.
Yep.
That is a way you can keep going, but yeah, you kind of get a little scattered. That's what I do. I'll work on one until I run out of money or come to expensive parts, and I'll switch over to another one, and or I'm waiting on parts. Sounds like they estimate shipping October 15th for the cam for this one.
October.
Yep.
Hey.
I'm scouring around right now to all other cam companies. Shane, he got it though. Old Shane Polito, Professor P of Slant 6 Daily.
Yeah.
He understood exactly what I was looking for with this. I think he's got me in a good direction on the cam. Because when it comes to that stuff, I don't know. I know enough to trust somebody who knows more than me.
I find it every time you call up a cam company, they always say 110 LSA. I find that it's just funny to me. It doesn't matter what, it's always 110. And if you had if you wanted like vacuum brakes, they'd always recommend like a 114. So it's like that's their go-to. But
This one, I'm going back and forth on it, whether to put the hydro in it and run the power steering off of it. Won't be power steering. The power steering pump would just be running the hydro brake. Or just running manual. I'm going back and forth. Probably just manual brake.
Forcing some wires underneath the carpet. And it's hot. They said heat index 106 today.
I don't even want to know what it is in here. I stopped looking at my thermometer.
Oh man, I mean you get used to it, but once you step into the air conditioning, it's like, oh man, do I have to go back out? It's raining there again, JB.
You guys are getting dumped on.
Jeez.
Another guy I follow on here, he does a lot of big block Ford stuff too. He goes by Black Lab Garage.
Black Lab?
Yeah, pretty cool guy.
Like Labrador?
Yeah, he's named after his dog.
Well, he got me there, so I'm going to have to check him out.
But he had a tree fall on his. It was a 69, 70 Ford truck. He just got the engine put in it, everything. Yeah, and it laid right down the center of it.
Oh, gosh. You guys were talking about these boneyards crushing cars and engines and stuff like that. That pisses me off.
Yeah. Especially the ones around here.
Don't they?
You can't buy anything out of them anymore. They just passed a law like 2 years ago on it.
Stupid. They're forcing EV stuff, and it's like,
Used to be, I'd go in there and get scrap metal. I could get,
yeah,
a car.
yep. I remember there was a place in Ohio, I think Olmsted area. There's North Olmsted Auto Wrecking. I found an Interceptor car and pulled the engine and transmission out of it. And my first car was an '81 Buick Century. It had the 3.8 in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was like as soon as the car was mine, after my sister, I just held the gas pedal to the floor and be like, I don't know what happened, So my dad and I went to Olmsted Auto Wrecking and pulled an Interceptor engine out of it and plopped it down in that Buick, and it was pretty fun. But there was a place called Chinks Auto Wrecking, and that's where I got my my Barracuda gas cap and the Barracuda emblem. And I always wanted to buy that car from him. And when I finally got enough money to buy it, and it was a great looking car. It had some surface rust on the body, but the frame was there. And in certain areas, you could even see the factory paint on the frame. I was like, holy cow, what happened to this car, And there wasn't a ding on it.
Really?
I was like, what is going on with this car? And he's like, I don't know, some guy just wanted to get rid of it. All right, whatever. And it was sitting right next to a Slant 6 Dart. And but anyways, I went back there, and when I finally got the money together, and I was young, I was like 18, and I went there, and doors were closed.
Really?
Yeah, I went there again next day, closed. And then all of a sudden, the car started disappearing. And I'm like, oh no.
They just went through and crushed everything?
Yep. Just, it was a beautiful, I forget what year it is. It was.
Yeah, you ever see the show Vegas Rat Rods?
No, I don't watch many shows. If anything, I just watch like movies, and even then, it's like I watch them like 30 minutes at a time. I get antsy, and I'm like, okay, I got to go do something in the garage. Or if I'm just laying in bed, I want to relax, then I'll watch like 30 minutes of a movie. But no, I haven't seen
Anyway, on that show, a couple of those actually came from our recycler here, back when you could actually buy cars out of them.
Oh, wow. Small world.
The guy that was doing that show, Steve Darnell, he's a one cool guy. He actually moved out of Vegas. He still has his shop welder up in Vegas, but he moved back home to Cedar City or St. George, Utah. Okay. Now he's doing everything on YouTube.
Oh, really? Seems like everyone's doing something on YouTube these days.
Well, if you do it on Discovery gets it all. All you get is the publicity.
Yeah. Come on, Papa. Why aren't you going in there? What's going on here?
Hey, Tim. Good to see you, man.
Tim Windsor.
The nicest guy on YouTube.
Come on.
I found like a 62 Grand Prix convertible in Florida in nice shape. Went back to buy it, and the guy crushed it.
Jeez. Here's a Broken Wheel Auto Wrecking. I think there was another one in Cleveland. Yeah, Broken Wheel. And he had a Ford 460, right? And it was on the very top shelf of the racks or whatever. And he would not get rid of it. It wasn't for sale. He just kept it there and kept it there and kept it there. And it must have been, I'd have to say 20 years. 20 years he had that engine there, and he still wouldn't sell it. Well, he got, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden the car started disappearing, and I don't know what it was, but a friend of mine worked for him, and he says, yeah, he just won't get rid of that 460, something about it. Whatever.
Might have been a Cobra Jet.
I don't know, but
Short deck Cobra Jet 460. Woo.
it was special. Every time I'd like, hey, what is that? And he just, you want to sell it? Nope. Okay.
You guys hear about the electric junior digger that caught fire at NHRA track? I did.
No.
Oh, the electric junior dragster, right? Can you imagine if they had a child strapped in? Whoa.
This thing's burned hot.
Yeah.
How's the kid?
Hopefully they got away from it in a hurry. I guess the good thing about them is they don't explode, but once they get burning, they don't stop burning. Cut them seat belts off and kick the glass.
You know, I always,
Especially these damn cars with the automatic locks. Ugh.
I'm wondering how long this electrical stuff's gonna be pushed. You know, like when's it gonna end? Because
I see it coming to an end.
yeah, and why are they pushing it so much? And
Toyota and Ford are already bailing on it, so
yeah, well, Toyota has a they're like, for me, for if you want to ask me, I think Toyota is that's it. Everybody else is underneath them.
can't say what Dodge is going to do because they're European owned now.
Fiat.
Yeah. I stopped liking Mopar when they spelled it with an F.
Bodge.
That 4-letter word starts with
You
F.
know what though? You know what I have noticed? They've gotten back to comfort. You know, for a while they're like these Durangos at the early 2000s. They plasticky, kind of cheap. The dash is crushed in. You know, with the new body style, that bubble, everyone disliked it or whatever. They got back to like comfort, and you know, when you shut a door, they don't rattle. You know, they've gotten that back with Fiat. So I don't know. I like it. I like them.
Mazda announced that they're putting the feel back in the car too. They want you to feel the road. So, like drive-by-wire, they're not really supporting regular power steering instead of electric power steering, so you can actually feel the road and feel what your car's doing.
Well,
how far they're going to take it, I don't know.
You know, there's I think that the whole electric thing with the steering and the gas pedal and stuff like that, all these computers are, you know, satellite now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, how many times my phone screws up? That's just a phone. I can only imagine if it had 4 wheels and I was dependent on it.
They'll shut you down if they want to.
Heck, a software update will shut them down.
That's right.
And it's proprietary repair. So you got to take it into the dealer to have them try to fix it.
Yeah, if the part's available.
Yeah. Oh, that's obsolete. We don't offer that anymore. We'll give you $5 trade in on this brand new $250,000 EV, though. Or worse, all of that stuff that's in them that's subscription based. That's the spooky one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to pay somebody to drive your car.
I really think they don't want
Use it.
people to own anything anymore. They want you to be happy in debt and not own anything. But, oh well.
You're kidding me. New Jeep has brake-by-wire. See? When you start spelling it with an F, you just walk away.
Beeps suck. Jeeps are terribly expensive. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord. But it's the only one you can buy that you usually don't take a bath in. The CJs. XJs, yeah, good luck. But you get a CJ or even a YJ even, they generally hold their value pretty good. About the only ones I know of that you can completely customize and not hurt the value any on them. And fast sell. They usually sell real quick.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants to pretend they're Daisy Duke or something. I don't know.
Oh, where'd you go?
I know you take them out on the trail, they need to put lift handles everywhere on the tops of them, because those little suckers roll over like no tomorrow.
Even the new ones?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, no, the new ones, they never take off road.
Oh. They had something at the IX Center in Ohio, the new Jeep or whatever, and the suspension travel is like, it's pretty darn good. And they went up, they had a bunch of Jeeps there, and they ran this obstacle course, and they invited people to get in the Jeeps. You know, they not drive them, but they had someone driving the Jeeps, and they had logs that were like crossed over, and the logs weren't small either. They're like telephone pole logs, right? And they had a ramp that they went up real steep, and man, when we got to those logs, and the guy just flew over the logs, and we hardly felt anything, and I was like,
Really?
oh wow, we gotta get one of these. And I guess they changed the style a little bit. And when we went to go buy one, we saw the little Mickey Mouse ear speakers and the kind of round, square, cheap plastic. And I was like, and Veronica was like, nope, not anymore. That was the end of that. Nope. Oh man, I'm missing my Deutsch connector lock. I gotta grab another one. Hold on, I'll be back.
Always something.
Oh,
I don't even care for electronic ignition. Points for me. Yeah, I used to be that way, but it's getting so dang hard to get good points anymore. And condensers. I've got Oh, I've got a drawer full of condensers, old condensers. Because if they're still good, they beat the snot out of anything you can buy new. I don't mind electronic ignition. Yeah, just keep a spare module with you. And the Pertronics, I'm a big fan of it. The points conversion ones. I like them because you pull them out and you don't change the distributor. And you just take the points and the condenser and you put them in the jockey box too. So if it goes out and sits you on the side of the road, you can just throw the points back in and go.
Hey, my neighbor just texted.
Hey,
So that means he wants a measurement on the drive shaft. Push all the way to the bottoms, measure from center of the bearing cap to the tip of U on the rear end suspension loaded.
with it on the ground.
Yep.
Your slip yoke, I put half, about, you pull it out a little, about half, and then
He
measure
probably
center to
takes care of that though. Does his own. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I completely understand. Yeah.
unload though. Don't put it on a 2-post lift and try to do it. You'll be short. I made that mistake.
Damn it. So I got to talking to him, and he does right down the street from me is Doug. Oh shoot, I forget his last name, but he does all the legend cars. You know, the little motorcycle engine cars, little legends. And my neighbor actually does all the drive shafts. I think he did like 100 drive shafts for Doug.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just delivered them. But yeah, I was like, holy cow! It's just.
We got a company here called Musselman's Drive Shafts that they've done all of ours. I think the last one we had done was like $135. New yokes, U-joints, everything.
Wow, that new tube?
Yeah, that was a cut tube. It was only about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet.
Oh, okay.
It was a little shorty guy.
And I was gonna say it's a real good deal. Oh no, don't tell me.
But we've been doing business with them since, good Lord, early 70s.
I don't have another bullet to lock them connectors.
Good to see you, Frankenstein.
Hold on, I gotta go check my overstock.
I keep a couple of both in the glove box, ballast resistors too. Yep. I actually use those ballast resistors for all kinds of stuff too. When you're doing these old cars, the old 6-volt that you're converting over, you can use that ballast resistor in a lot of places. If it's a Dodge, because Dodge was the first ones to go electric windshield wipers, run them through one of those ballast resistors. It knocks it down to 8-volt. So your electric windshield wipers will work on normal speed. Use them for that. Heaters, heater blower motors, anything like that. It's kind of a cheap, easy 6-volt reducer. And the Chrysler ones work even better because they got multiple prongs off of them. They got, 4 prongs instead of just 2? You just put some new old stock standard brand points ink condensers and Ari's distributor and sent it up on the Sun distributor machine. I'd love to have one of them. Timing is dead on, and that thing lights instantly. Yeah, and it sounded pretty good. I dig those videos, and hubby, again, thanks a million for helping old Ari out.
Oh boy.
Can condensers be tested? Yeah, I'll tell you a good way. You stick it on the battery charger. You put the negative end on the body side and the positive end on the wire side, and you get it charged up. And then you hold it by the wire side, and you just walk over, and somebody comes through your door or something, you yell, "Hey, catch," and you throw it at them. If they go like this, it's a good one.
You're talking about the
Points condensers.
what is that, a microfarad or something like that? How many farads is that?
Quite a few.
Got to be like a million farad or like 10th or not 10th. That'll freaking kill you. But yeah, those are like really, really.
What it is, it's a capacitor.
Yeah.
Don't do it on an electric motor one though, and especially a microwave. I see guys converting microwaves over to spot welders. Yeah, you got to be real careful with that capacitor. That sucker will knock you across the room.
Yeah. Yeah, went on a fire call. Guy Christmas morning was making their Christmas presents with the whole the webbing through the pieces of wood or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He got zapped, got knocked out, wood caught fire.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Did you guys have to take any special training for Jaws of Life on EVs and hybrids?
Not yet. It's coming.
Our department here, Toyota brought over a Prius for the guys
that's cool.
to learn how to cut them apart.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Because they run that main wire up through the B pillar, and you cut that sucker. That's mega voltage. That'll kill you.
Was it the B?
Yeah,
Because I think their main shutoff was in the trunk, wasn't it? Or did they change it?
Did they change it now so firefighters don't cut that? It would make sense, so they probably didn't.
No, I thought it ran up the C pillar. They changed it to the B.
Was it the C pillar? I might be wrong. It might be the C pillar.
I don't know. I'd have to check myself. So. Oh, great. Now we're going to have an EV fire. That's how it goes. It's like, oh my gosh. You talk about it and it happens. Oh gosh.
But that is another hidden hazard of the EVs. You're dealing with lots of voltage, and it's DC, direct current.
Yep. Current that
It
travels on
don't-
the inside of the wire, not the outside. Yep.
There was a high school just north of us that was going to do an EV conversion on a Volkswagen bus, the
Yeah.
little mini buses, and they shut them down because their insurance wouldn't cover the, in case a kid got hurt doing it.
Right.
And it was because of the voltage.
I wonder if they do offer like special training or whatever on that. Like that they like that a city or county would pay for someone to come out there. Or is it just up to,
Our guys did it at our department here. They, Toyota just donated it. It was a wreck Toyota, of course,
Yeah, but who actually did the training? Was it a company or was it
It was
Toyota?
rep from them.
Oh, so they just came right out and said, "Hey, we got this."
Yeah, and they
Here's
set it down and they showed the guys how to cut them apart. And
But I wonder if there is a company out there that does. I'd imagine so.
probably,
That would do it for the fire department.
if not, there's a business opportunity for somebody and a good one.
A very good one. Oh yeah.
I was never with the fire department. We did a lot of work for them. Built a lot of brush rigs for them.
The I forget what they call them. What year?
What year? What?
What year did you build them?
The last one we did was, oh Lord, 7 years ago.
They got a new brush truck. It's
There's a company out of Boise that builds nothing but those. What we would do is the department, the chief, Bruce here, he'd just go down and buy a utility Ford, no bed,
Yep.
whatever, 450, 350, whatever. And then you'd buy a Bradford box for it. And then we put a skid unit inside of that with the foam and the water tanks and the pumps and everything.
yeah, we got one of those F450s. It has like a gas powered pump, and then you got your foam tank. But there's another company that's specifically from the ground up builds a truck.
I wonder if it's that one out of Boise. They're expensive though. They're real expensive.
Yeah. Shoot, I just did a. Let's see.
And they do them for BLM, everybody, fire departments. In fact, they're building them out of the same, well, it's not the same bay, but the same complex that Stacy David used to do his TV show out of.
Yeah.
Stacy David's old shop.
That's the guy on.
Too.
It was one of them car shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like one of the originals.
In the 80s. I think his show was called Trucks or something like that.
Yeah, Trucks. That's it. That's it.
Is that a Triple P shifter I see there, Damien?
Yes, it is. I have my own thoughts about them. They're quite thin. They're quite lightweight. And hindsight, I'd probably just get the B&M.
It's kind of cool looking with them shifter lockouts, detents.
If you're, oh yeah, it's a cool shifter. It's just it's meant to be lightweight. Okay.
So
it feels small. It feels like it needs to be more robust. But
feels like you're going to break it.
Let me just say it did. But as soon as I bolted it down to the console here and ran it to the transmission, it made it feel like it made it feel just so much better. It's just, I don't know. When you're trying to shift it out of the box, it feels chintzy. It feels, thin. I kind of wanted something a little bit thicker than, what is this? 1/8 maybe. Aluminum. I thought it was like 1/4. But yeah, as soon as you bolt it down and get it all structured, it's actually has a nice feel to it now. But I'll probably outline this, put it on the cutter, and make myself some 1/4-inch side plates for it, and make the shifter a little beefier, and then sell this.
That's right. Trucks was Bruno and Matt. That's right.
Who was Stacy then? I thought it was Trucks.
Gears.
Gears.
That's the name of his show. Yeah, that's right. I've actually seen him a couple of times. He moved to Nashville though, or somewhere in Tennessee. Everybody's going on over there.
It's a place to be. Good weather. They still have the change of seasons.
A while back, we almost did.
Why were you going to move to why are you going to move to Tennessee?
Boy, it would take a lot of loads.
But what made you think about it?
The wife's job almost sent her out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, John, good seeing you, man.
Who's that? Hey, John.
If it was up to me, I'd leave Arizona for Tennessee in a heartbeat.
That's got to be Tony, is it?
Yeah. There's a couple of good YouTubers down there. Him and iSpider Garage.
Yeah, iSpider. He's
I
cool.
like that guy.
Boom, baby. Yeah, he's cool.
They're pretty hard to come by these days. I'm going back with the B&M Pro Stick. Even that one is on back order.
I got a nice PPP for sale. I don't like it. I mean, it works, but I don't like it.
I've never liked the pistol grip style. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to have my hand this way. This way just feels unnatural to me. Feels like I'm grabbing the stick and not the ball.
Have you tried moving the shifter like at an angle?
I did. Then it feels way off.
Oh, okay.
It feels like something's wrong.
Yeah, I seen them like people mounting them sideways and up at an angle, and I don't know, for some reason being straight, it just feels right to me. I don't know.
But if you got the elbow restraints on, that's a pretty good one there. It's uptight.
Oh yeah, the racing seats. I put a little.
A lot of the monster truck guys that they got similar ones to that, but they're just running a Power Glide.
All right, so what I'm having trouble with, I got the loom without the crease, so you can't just open it up and look at the wires. I got the loom that is like when you stretch it out, it gets smaller. When you push on it, it gets bigger. Well, I'm trying to look for the third wire to turn the fan on. So I'm searching through this loom for this, and I'm trying to backtrack it here.
Doing the inchworm?
Yes. Yes, and I've lost the position of the wire like 15 times. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it can't be this hard. Okay, I think I got it.
Nobody wants to buy Damien's pee-pee.
Ah.
Yeah, hubby, you moved to the perfect place to avoid tornadoes, but you're going to get about 16 foot of snow.
All right, so I got a question. Is it Hubie or Hubby? I thought it was Hubie.
Hubie? It might be Hubie. I mispronounce it all
Is
the
it? I don't know. Maybe Hubby can say something.
time.
I kind of try and get people's names right because I hate it when people say Damien. I hate it.
That's why Barrow's Garage is spelled that way. It's actually my name, but that's how you say it. Everybody mispronounces my name.
But it's Bear Rose, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But everybody that tries to pronounce my name, they pronounce it Barrows. That's not Barrows.
What are you borrowing?
Oh. I don't borrow, I build. Mopar T-handle slap shifter.
I like the Star Shifter.
Yeah, we've used quite a few stars,
I
and they're affordable.
Yeah, I scoured Marketplace, and this guy had two of them for sale for the price of one. You know, one was slightly used and the other one was still in the box. And I was like, I'll take them.
Yeah, those detents are pretty doggone cool, aren't they, John? John, I love the detents and gate of that PPP. Second to none. But the angle is excessive. I don't like the thumb button at all. I could probably modify one to be the best shifter ever.
Yeah, that's one thing I think I'm going to do on the laser cutter table. I'm going to put this in the CAD system and make some improvements. And this one will be on the chopping block in Facebook Marketplace.
Actually, I'm related to Clyde. That's why there's an S at the end of our name now. That is my dad's dad added the S to separate it from that. But he was, I guess, that would have been his nephew, so second, third cousin, I guess, somewhere in the line up there.
Okay, I think I got it.
But that side of the family back then, they didn't get along so well. So I had to spit in a cup to find out my ancestry on that side all the way back.
It's funny what they can do nowadays when you spit in a cup.
Oh, it's weird.
They're like, oh, you're not supposed to eat this. What? Okay.
The strangest thing was that my mom's family comes from Sweden. I still have an uncle that owns the family farm in Sweden. They spit in the cup, you know. They speak Swedish. They come over here for reunions, you know.
Uh-huh.
There is no doubt in our mind that we are Swedish. I spit in the cup. I'm only about this much Swedish. It's all Saxon. I've come to find out that part of Sweden, it wasn't always Sweden.
Oh, boy. We're all mutts.
Yep, total 100%.
All right, let's see here.
It said I'm Scott Swede. So basically that means if I step out in the sunlight, I burst into flames.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some stuff.
Barrows' version would be spelled Hubby's. So I guess it's Hubby's Garage. Oh,
Is that
Hubie's. Hubie's.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got it.
I think he was making a joke of how you spell it to make other people say it differently. I don't know.
That's it.
In that damn thing. Oh goodness.
Yeah, it is. It's a very small world. Oh, that sounds like a bad video right there. I heard rumors of some kind of video called Two Girls in a Cup or something like that. I don't know. I never did find out what it was all about, but I guess it was pretty nasty. Yeah, Tony's got it there. Yeah, gross.
Hey, that voice sounds familiar. Who is that?
Hey, gross, John.
Oh, I thought someone else joined the live. I'm like, wait, what? Kind of sounded like Book there for a second. Of course, I was out there by the fan.
Yeah, I figured it was Tony, and just not worth my time to try to look for it.
Which one's that?
Oh, the two people in a cup thing. Things that some people will do for views. Oof.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though, after you do this YouTube stuff for a little while and you're doing your own videos and you're getting into it and you're kind of getting an understanding of editing and all of that, then you go in and you sit down and you watch a produced show. Yeah, and you kind of get you understand a lot more what that is. I can't even watch a car show anymore.
Yeah. And I watch YouTube. That's YouTube and movies. That's it.
Yep.
All them car shows that even some of the YouTube channels that make it look like car shows,
Uh-huh.
I don't watch them. I just don't.
The overproduced stuff, you just
Yeah, I just no.
I know, Ollie, what's going on, brother?
Ollie.
I'm messing with everybody's time. What's going on, man? That was a good video you put out just a little bit ago on that dash. And those squeaking Ford door panels. Yep.
There.
Busted Radio Garage. What's going on?
It is in the chat.
I caught a little bit of yours earlier. Well, that's what I do now. I just set the computer here up and let it just play whatever and go off and do my thing. And then I can run over with my greasy fingers and try to look up parts at the same time. Such a simple repair. Don't know why I didn't do it sooner. It's because it's the simple one. You're always concentrating on the bigger stuff. That's what I generally do. I get them going and just up to their, drivable, and then get down to the little stuff like the squeaky door panels and stuff like that. Then I forget about them and I move on to the next one. Time to kick back and relax, isn't it? The other BRG. And if any of you haven't subscribed yet to Busted Radio or become a channel membership on him, he gives away all kinds of stuff. If you become a member of his channel, he takes care of you. You get T-shirts and hats and you name it, all kinds of stuff. He's one heck of a great guy.
That's pretty cool. Yep.
He really does pay it forward. Breezy's Bike Shop. Good to see you, man. What are we working on? I'm working on sitting on my butt while I'm supposed to be finishing tearing down this column here. But Damien, what are you working on there? Explain to everybody.
Wiring up the fan for the transmission cooler
on the Durango.
Yep.
The dirty Durango.
Dirty D. Dirty D. I'm debating whether I put it on a relay or just go ahead and I got to put it on a relay. I'm not going to allow myself not to, so I'll just get over it.
A fan always on a relay.
Yeah. So that Packard I was working on with that Ford 300. He had the fan going to the ignition switch, right?
Direct.
So every time we had the ignition switch on, the fan would turn on. Okay, so when you go to shut the car off, the fan would backfeed and keep the engine running.
Yep, I was just going to say that because when it's still rolling, it's generating.
Yep. I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, we had to fix that.
How long did it take you to find that?
Oh, not long at all. He turned the key on, the fan was on. I was like, oh, okay. So either it's going to a relay or not, So, and about at first it was confusing. I was like, and then it just hit me,
Fuel pumps will do the same thing, especially a rotary one.
Oh yeah, any electric motor.
Then you generally take the switch out if you have an override switch.
Yeah, this one didn't even have a switch. It was just direct.
Back throw. He didn't even have an override switch on it?
He didn't even have a switch.
Ah.
I was like, where's the switch? At least the switch. Nah.
Big Mike, I gave up on the contest. I don't think I ever won anything. I'll just have to buy stuff if it's something I want. Oh, me too. Actually, I have won a couple. I've won I think twice from Busted Radio, but I just tell him to pass it on to the next guy.
Yeah. Unless it's car lift. I'm not going to pass that.
One of them was cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want
use
to shine that rust up too much. And if I make a clean spot, then I'll want to paint the car.
See how it snowballs? Nothing can be stuck. That's Veronica's like, can't you just leave it alone? No.
No.
I mean, look at this. I mean, this went from $500 Durango needing main bearings. Even the rod bearings were good. It just needed main bearings. No.
No, it's got a trans brake.
Now it's got a trans brake. It's got a stroker crank too. Wait, are you sure you got a longer stroke crank for? Oh, you do? Okay, I'll take that one. Yeah.
Yep, always a relay. I run them off a thermal switch, and I do an override switch too. Those are the 3 keys to success on an electric fan.
Yep.
And try your hardest to put the fan behind the radiator.
Some of the cheaper fans, they overheat and blow the fuse. You got to get a decent fan.
And a good way to test them is set them on the shop floor and hook them up. And if it lifts it clear up off the floor, it's a good one. If it won't do that,
If it just sits there and scoots like this,
yeah, it's garbage. Not even worth your efforts. Sure thing, Brother Hook. What you got there? I have a question for you.
Big Mike.
Anything will fit anything with a plasma cutter and a good welder.
All right, I need, let's see, 2 powers.
Then as it spins down and the engine eventually dies, the low voltage will eventually kill the ignition system. Yep. Because them electric motors, when they turn off, they turn into a generator. And it backfeeds like that. And the relay kind of gives it a softer hit, softer ignition on it to start them up. No contest year, I have Oprah nights. Yep. Everybody gets a little bit of something. You're doing a great job there, Busted. Zero G, you want a Benpack Ranger 48-inch toolbox? Sweet. I shouldn't say none, but less than the latter. Yeah. And you just put on a really good show, too. Good channel, good stuff. The guy's got a big heart, and he paid, like I said, he pays it forward. Did you find her there? Yeah, like I said, everybody, I got the link posted up there if you want to hop on in. Hop on in.
Hop on in. Why not?
I won 2 items, and then they were both from Big Mike. You got the 2 that Unfinished didn't win. Unfinished Project, I'll tell you what, he is one sharp guy. Oh, here we go. The 8.8 rear end you got for the Blue Goose has the yoke offset 4 inches to the passenger side. Yeah, that's pretty standard on them. My drive line is only going to be about 30 inches long. Do you think that'll be an issue? As long as your engine is mounted straight, you know, and then your drive line can turn, that's all right. 4 inches to the offset. That's one hand over. And it's just a stock 318 that you're putting in there. You should be all right. The way that they correct that, but like I said, you're running a stock 318. I wouldn't even worry about this part of it. But the way that a lot of guys will correct that is they'll take the short side, they'll take 2 8/8s, and you pull the short side or the long side, whichever one you're trying to make it long, wider or shorter, whatever. They'll take one of them off and then cut the axle tube, cut it out, and then swap in another one to bring your pinion into the center. But that's a whole lot of work, and a whole lot of work you don't have to do in that kind of application. I've been asked that a couple of times because of my videos I was doing on that Dart. But that Dart was a special thing. The engine on that Dart was mounted in there this way. And then the rear end was mounted in there like this, you know, to the center of the yoke in that. So the engine wasn't in there straight. That's why I couldn't do it in the Dart without a slip yoke or a ball and trunnion drive shaft. Yeah, Ollie's got it there too. It'll be fine, yep. As long as the tail shaft is not pointing at the yoke. That way the shaft is equally angled and it'll be fine. You'll see lots of stuff like that on your old farm equipment too, like the old balers and stuff like that that run shaft drives. Kind of the same concept going on there. I'll be running 1 3/4 pinion offset with 700. Yeah, 1 3/4 isn't much. As long as the angles cancel each other out. Yep, exactly. Yep, that's why I love those 8/8s. And they work all the way through the 50s up until 59. Well, I have to go through generally speaking, all the way through the 50s. Those 8/8s working all of them and all the way down through. S10s, same thing. But depending on which S10 you're dealing with, though. 4-wheel drive's 2 inches wider. The 4-wheel drive. 2-wheel drive is a little bit narrower. 2-wheel drive S10 actually works really good on the early ones, the 30s and stuff. But squirrel!
Someone say S10 and squirrel.
And that was a pretty cool find. You found the disc brake one from the disc brake ones at the Eddie Bauers usually had the limited slip in them. But the drum brake ones, generally the Eddie Bauer was an open diff. But if you can find a limited, that's the model name on the Explorers, those all had limited slip rear ends.
Didn't those have a problem with the limited slip chattering when they first came out?
No, the transmission went before that. They had a horrible, it was that French built transmission in them.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's how I ended up with the one I got. I bought it for $400 and it had another transmission in the back of it.
Huh.
He was going to swap it out. He said, "Nah, it ain't worth it." And he sold it to me for that. So I stuck that transmission in it and I figured I'd drive it until it died. And the dang thing lasted for 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get the right angle of the dangle here. It ain't happening. Something's either in the way or I don't know. So that's the problem what I have for YouTube. The videos, they take longer to set up and then you gotta.
Yep.
Look, I got 500. I'm happy. But I'm good. I'm good. If I get any, hey, thank you.
Keep rolling with it, brother. You got it. You actually do some really good videos, Damien.
I don't know. I wanted to do a couple more tech ones, and I was just, it's too close to the No Name Nationals. Don't have time. You know what I need? I need the little holder for the wires when you go to solder them. Because every time I touch it with the solder gun, they either unravel or they push out of the way or they. That takes longer than YouTube. But anyways.
I'm lazy. I crimp and shrink tube them.
Yeah, my OCD gets the better of me, so I just.
Unless I forget the shrink tube. Then I crimp, and then I cut, and then I put the shrink tube on, and I crimp, and I shrink tube.
Can't you just split the shrink tube and slide it over and then heat shrink it? Darn it. And the worst part is, usually when you forget the heat shrink tube, it's on a wire that's like already too short.
Yep, you were at the limit. Yep.
I'm like, are you kidding me? But you always seem to squeeze just enough for one last cut.
So then you bite the bullet and you go a little bit farther back, and then you make the shrink tube extra long, and you put 2 crimps in and slide it over the whole thing and shrink tube it.
I'm not going to say I haven't done that or anything.
No, never.
Let's get rid of that.
Oh, that was one thing though. Ugh. When I was at the resto shop, the guy I was working for, it does really good work.
Uh-huh.
But on his wiring, he wanted everything to disappear. He didn't want to see any wires. So I'd have to run them all kinds of places to hide them.
Uh-huh.
He wanted everything shrink tubed and no zip loom. So I was pulling, big shrink tube, everything. Looks really good when it's all done because you don't see it.
Yeah.
But if anything happens, you pull the whole wiring harness and start completely over because you can't cut the shrink tube to look for a short or anything. I hated doing it that way. The mechanic part of me said, "This is wrong. This is wrong." When something bad happens, I like to be able to see it immediately. I don't like the look of zip loom, but split loom.
Uh-huh.
But I don't like doing the fish, the inchworm either, like you was doing.
Oh man.
I found with these old cars though that have cloth wrap wiring, hockey
Yeah,
tape.
that's what I put on the. Yeah, that's what I put on the 41. I'll tell you what really good stuff is Coroplast. That's really
Coroplast?
good stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you want good wire loom wrap?
Somewhere around here. Oh, yeah. I got one of those little pen solderers, that's only about that big. It's like the head of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hit the button on the back of it and you get into tight places to do your soldering like that. I was doing the tail lights on a 47 GMC.
Mm-hmm.
I was up in the tight spot around you got the fender right here. It's down on the ground. And I'm up in there trying to get up in there and I hear a click, click, click. And I'm pulling the wires down and I smelt something. My head was up against my soldering iron, clicked it on and burnt the top of my head. Lit the top of my head on fire. There's something burning. What's going on? Ruined my damn hat.
Your hat. Yeah, I dropped my my heat gun the other day. No longer works.
Oh man.
So I'm stuck burning my map gas.
That's why I like this little guy.
Yeah. I got one of those.
Concentrated flame.
Yeah.
So you can get right in there on them and it's butane, so you can just keep filling it and filling it.
I have one of those, but the striker went bad.
Yeah,
have
and you start lighting it every time.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah, and the Bowers are actually lower geared because they had less power. I don't know why Ford did that. The Eddie Bauer edition sounds like something special,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually not. It was a lesser model.
That is weird that they did that. Okay, is that gonna be? Yeah, it's gonna be long enough.
I wonder how many people bought one and then took it to the upholstery shop and said, "Hey, can you fix these seats? The last guy, he put his name all over on them." What was it? 60. The 4-door Thunderbirds. Back when you bought them, you could send them your name and they would give you an engraved plaque with the Thunderbird emblem on it to put right in the dash. So you had your
That's
name
cool.
on them. Said something like built for whatever your name.
Especially built for. Yeah. Yep. Almost forgot the heat shrink.
Everything I have bought with Eddie Bauer on it was junk. Yeah, they generally fell apart. Even the Sears outboard engines, I didn't know about those. I know on the Explorers, though, the door handles, door pulls were famous for breaking in them, door panels popping loose, dash cracking. Yeah.
Rotors rusting to the outside of the hub, beating them off till the bearing goes bad.
And that dadgum twin I-beam four-wheel drive. Ugh. Yeah, I do have to say it works. That it works really well, but you can't do anything with it.
I owned one Ford my whole life, and that was the last one. None against Ford. It just ended up being that way.
You got a 92 Bronco, that'd be a Bronco 2, right? Eddie Bauer edition. In stock form, though, that twin I-beam would grab. It just, oh.
Well, yeah, independent front suspension. Sometimes it'll work for you, sometimes it wouldn't, depending on the angle of the pavement and the angle of the.
Wildly adjustable camber.
Oh yeah, those camber caster bushings. It's actually really
axle.
It's actually really easy to adjust caster. They have a you get a degree, one of those digital degree square blocks, whatever, and they actually have a mount for them. You slide it in there, and it's just basically a straight edge, and you bolt that to the bottom of the upper ball joint, and then you can find your caster angle. We usually do that when we're finding out the bump steer on the cars.
Check there, and the radius arm bushings. Uh-oh. Sounds like you're getting a little low on nap gas there.
No, I turned it down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Full size one, huh? You should see the Ford Bronco. It looks cross-legged. Yep. And then when you back them up, they go. We had a guy here that he brought us that little. His was a Ranger, little Ranger pickup. Same thing though. He brought it to us about 3 times, wanting us to do ball joints on it. Kept telling him, Devon, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, every time he'd back it up into his parking spot, the front end, it would, whoa, and he thought the ball joints were going out. Then you go store it, pull it forward, and they stand back up.
Now, didn't their 3/4 and 1 tons, their 4-wheel drives, when you hit the brake, it wouldn't steer?
When you hit the brake, it wouldn't steer?
Wouldn't steer. You'll be sitting still, and you can turn the wheel as much as you want without your foot on the brake. As soon as you put pressure on the brakes and the calipers lock, and it didn't allow the steering axis, the pull forward, it would lock the steering.
Huh.
on the Fords. But as soon as you started rolling, it would free up the steering wheel. Yep.
Is that a hydro?
Hydro assist.
Yeah.
Like the early 90s,
Yeah. Chevys
Ones.
do it too.
the full size.
Well, you could overcome it, but it squalls and it goes chung, 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 chung. Let off the brake and then
Yep. All right.
and if the relief valve in it is going bad, it'll really do it.
Did those get? Did those have a solenoid to make the steering tighter when you're cruising on a highway? To make it feel like the Chevys did?
Not that I remember. Later on ones, yeah.
I can't see the chat anymore. What are people saying in the chat?
As long as the twin I-beam suspension isn't smoked, or people have tried to lift them or lower them and that kind of stuff, people have played with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good. And boy, the problems will add up. My favorite was like I was saying, the radius arm bushing, the back one.
Mhm.
That would start to go, and then of course people just keep right on going with it. It'll knock that bushing out, and then it'll start hog wallering out the mount, the bracket. Well, that bracket is riveted to the frame. You got to get in there and cut the rivets. Almost got to pull the body to get up there and cut those top rivets out and pound them out that off, and then you put the new one on and it bolts on. God, I hated doing them. And the bushing's like $12.
I got really fast at doing them ball joints. Do enough of them.
What was the other one? The hub. It uses the tire to squeeze the hub onto it. Your lock to lock in and lock out your hubs on the 4-wheel drives. And
It uses the wheel, right?
yeah,
Wheel.
that's what compresses it and holds it all together.
Yeah.
Those would wear. Yeah, how to get rid of the Ford whine. You put a Saginaw on it. But Ford did in the vans and the heavy duty stuff. They put a Saginaw on them. But those regular Motorcraft power steering pumps, well, they run under really low pressure, a lot lower pressure. And that's why you get the Ford whine. Wow, 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 wow.
You know what car I haven't seen in a while? The Ford Taurus. Or the Tempo.
That was one good thing about Cash for Clunkers. Got rid of all them nasty things. Ford Taurus. That was the worst car I ever owned.
Oh gosh.
I owned it for 3 weeks. I put $800 into it. I took it back to him and said, "Here, have it back."
I had enough.
Even lifted, you got to do it right. Amen to that. And if you
Yeah.
don't know what you're looking for, take a friend with you when you go look at it before you buy it. Take somebody who knows this stuff. If it's got four steering stabilizers up front, those like Rancho shocks that mount sideways on your steering, walk away. Just walk away from it.
Yeah, there's a reason why they put those.
Yep.
I put them because it looks cool. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yep. How much bump steers this thing got?
If you have a lifted vehicle, you didn't put those on because you like the look of them. Because you know if you went any kind of off-roading, those would be the first thing that get hit and bent.
Yep.
Or did any real off-roading.
You take a look under there and the drag link is on there like this. And the story's always the same. Oh yeah, it's all done up. It just needs a drive line. Yeah. Got another question for me, huh? Sure. That last one was fun. How fast does the drive wheel have to spin before the limited slip kicks in? Or does it really work? Or how does it really work? They really don't spin. You want to take that one, Damien?
Depends on what kind of carrier you got. You got a G80 locker, it's 5 miles an hour. It locks it. That's the only one that locks it from the factory. The others, it uses the pressure from you taking off or whatever and applies that pressure against the clutch packs. And then you put different spring pressures in there to help apply the pressure, the clutch packs. But then if you get like a true track, then it takes the one that wants to spin and transfers the power to the one that doesn't want to spin.
And that should be what's in that one is like a true track.
What are they?
In that 8.8 that Mike just got. That should be like a true track. Right?
In there?
Or no, that would be clutched. That'll be clutches.
Yeah. Now they do have cone styles. The problem with the cone style is it's metal to metal, and once they wear out, that's it. Throw it away. So that's why I went, buy once, cry once. And plus Donnie gets a 20% discount off of them, so I couldn't pass it up. So
but it's almost instantaneous.
Yeah. It's different feel too. The ones with the clutch pack, it's a different feel from the True Track. The True Track, it feels like you can have more control over the car. The ones with the clutch packs, it just feels real loose in the back. So it's a weird feeling. Definitely worth the money. Definitely. Couple more $100, definitely worth it.
And a lot better than a locker, like a Detroit locker.
Yeah.
Because they hard hit. They bang hit.
Yeah. Yeah, they clack and they clunk and they lock in and then, it gets chattering because it's too loose, or the ramps get worn to where the square dogs get rounded to where they're ramps. The G80 locker, though, they do not like high torque situations. They work great in the winter time. They work great, mild off-roading. But if you get to spinning them fast with some power, they'll blow apart every time. Yep.
I figured that if I use the 8.8, I know where a whole bunch of replacements are. That's exactly why I recommend them. because they're everywhere.
Yep.
And you buy the whole rear end for a tenth of what a limited slip alone costs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a fact, Jack. Yep.
But I think it's still up. I have a video. I think it was called "What Happens When the Idiot Light Comes On," and I'm doing donuts in the yard in my Explorer. You see it. Well, it's on ice, so it's easy to make it do donuts. But both tires are like instantaneous. They're just spinning together.
Yeah.
And that thing's only running on like variable 4 cylinders. Sometimes it's this 4, sometimes it's this 4. It's almost dead. I can almost pull that rear end.
Those 8.8s are stout. They're. Yep. I don't even know why people use 4 9-inch anymore. I really don't.
9-inch is expensive. That center section, yeah, that's about $1,000 right there.
Yep. I got two centers up there that has the N on the front of it, the nodular iron. Those are the ones I kept. The other ones I sold them off.
I've got like 3 of them around here, but they're all highway gears.
Yeah.
Some of them are really long-legged.
Yeah. All right, what time is it?
That steering wind started in 78. Yep, when that was at the Eaton Plastic Reservoir Pumps. Noisy as all get out. We've got one on Sir Rat.
Sir Rat. That's a cool rat rod. That is really cool.
Thank you.
So,
but boy, we should have stuck a sag on it. But if you use a Windstar power rack, they don't like that kind of pressure. So that's really the reason why it's got that low pressure pump on it.
remember when the Windstars first came out and they would always throw like an ABS code and it'd be the sensors in the back and the fix for it was to take your pry bar and bend the sensor closer because it was on that little plate. That's like, that's a TSB? Seriously? Did they just say that? Just bend it back?
Leaves more 9 inches for me, huh? It is hard to beat a 9-inch. And boy, you can get them in any gear ratio you want.
Yeah, that's another thing about them. I mean, the aftermarket just so well for setup too makes it easy to have a lot of different gear ratios.
If you want to shorten them right down, you can get do-it-yourself spline kits, splined axles. They're just cut way in, so
Yeah, they're cut way in so you can cut them. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put it on mute because this lift is a little loud.
Nothing wrong with that. Mine's a little loud too. It's an old one. I think it's one of the first 2-post lifts, but Price was right. I couldn't walk away from it. And with the lift and the oil, I'm only into that like $600. That's a good way to find them if you're in an area that just pay attention to your property prices when property prices come up, rent comes up. A lot of shops, unfortunately, go under. And these two-post lifts are pretty tough to move, so generally you can pick them up on the cheap. Or you can find a refurbished site, because dealerships have got to upgrade theirs all the time. So sometimes you can get a dealership one that's been, refurbished. Keep your eye out there, Tony. Like I said, it took me quite a while to find this one, and well, I hated it because it was a friend of mine, really good friend of mine, and good Lord, they tripled his rent. He had to get it out of there. Tripled his rent, and they wanted 3 years rent all at once. It was a weird deal. So he closed up and moved everything back to his house. He's working out of his garage now. I get the 8.8 thing, but I'd run an 8 or 9 inch any day over an 8.8 just for easy of maintenance and gear swaps. Yeah. Yeah, when they built that Amazon depot in the city up north of me, commercial property around here just went through the roof. And that's what it was. He was in a industrial complex that had, there was like 12 shops there. Diesel mechanic was right next to him. And they bought the whole thing, and it's all storage for cardboard boxes for that Amazon. All those guys. Cabinet maker was in another section. Just all kinds of businesses, and they all got the boot. So they can store cardboard boxes. And then send them to me, and I got to burn them. Like I said, you can find them that way. Once their lifespan is up at the dealerships, they got to pull them all. And about the only thing that goes bad on them is the seals and the rams. Yeah, sometimes the motor. Yeah, old Amazon, they kind of took a page from Sam Walton, and they're taking over. But it's because they can get stuff so cheap. That's what's doing it. Gotta run. Good seeing you tonight. Does nothing special. Next week we'll be back on our regular scheduled time. This week was just kind of a fluke thing. I don't know though. We got a pretty good turnout. What do y'all think about doing this on Sunday before Uncle Tony and Ari's garage like this? My wife's kind of been after me to move my time slot off of Saturday because kind of takes away from our time to do anything. I'll leave it up to all you guys. If you're good on Sunday afternoons like this, I'll just move Saturday pickup live to Sunday pickup live on Sundays. Walmart started requiring all the vendors to have a corporate Northwest Arkansas. Oh, good Lord, yeah. And that was just above you. Well, Walmart kind of took over the whole state of Arkansas. But I really can't blame them, you know. If they can sell it cheap like that. It's hard to compete against them. They buy in such big volume that it's hard to compete. The bad thing is when it starts directing the market like that, then the producers stop producing the stuff that doesn't sell quite so good that Walmart ain't buying, or Amazon, or, you know, all of them. So it drives the price up on the obscure stuff. TBH Saturday nights. I'm usually working in the shop. I've noticed that on mine. Most everybody's working on. That's the only time they have to actually work on their projects.
Switching it over,
Oh,
getting rid of the flange, small joint for the 1350.
sweet. Where'd you get that from?
Donnie gets them from his supplier.
I get mine through that company that we have here, Musselman's, or Western Transmission, either one.
All right.
Yeah, I've been mulling it back and forth on. More I'm thinking about it, more I'm thinking about moving the pickup live to Sundays.
I'm going to get this measurement for him so he can start making that drive shaft.
Cool. Get to see it in live action, how to get her done.
Really don't need to torque it.
It's cool seeing you doing it by hand. I see a lot of guys just rattle that sucker on with an impact.
Yeah, I'm just going to get the measurement for him, but this is going to get the crush sleeve eliminator when I throw the gears and the true track in. But yeah, I just snugged it up for now just so I can get him a measurement, and I'll throw that slip yoke in and get it back on the ground.
Yeah, I finally ran internet out here. I did it the cheater way. Again, Amazon, I bought a 200-foot ether cable. So I got it hardwired into the modem in the house. I just cracked the window a little bit and run the cord out. Then when I shut her down, I just wind the cord back up. Kind of a pain in the butt, rolling up that many feet of wire, but it works. Ever have leakage from the yoke splines? Not with a good pinion seal. On a Mopar, that's probably due to the crush sleeve in there. I didn't like that design. Exactly. Or actually any kind of shock load. I've seen them come apart here in stock application. Mostly in the wintertime. People be spinning and spinning, trying to go, and then they hit the dry pavement and that shock load, boom, will pop that. I did the same, but that's eventually what I'm going to do. I figure I'll run the same cord. And it just has to be buried, just enough the lawnmower won't hit it. So if there is a problem, I can fish it back out of there and fish another one in. I still have my big long fish tape from back when I was doing HVAC and stuff like that. And the Wi-Fi, yeah. I found doing these lives and stuff with Wi-Fi, it gets a little iffy. Especially in the shop with the metal building and everything. It really screws with my Wi-Fi. Always put a little bit of embryonic sealer on the splines. In a pinch, I've even used RTV. Right at the end. Not all the way up the shaft, just right at the end of the seat. Put in a double shielded. That's what I got to do with the double. I'm thinking go with the double shielded. What I got right now is just a flat one. It's Cat 6, but like I said, it's just flat wound. It's actually made for inside use. My dad actually bought one of those ones that run through your electrical wires. You plug one side of it in close to your router, and then you run your ether to it. Then it runs through your whole electrical system. And he went out to the shop and plugged the other one in out there to boost the Wi-Fi out in the shop. It works really good out there. And the nice thing about it is it's got the ether plug-in out there too, so you can still do it. But it does drop it just a little bit. Whether it's enough to notice or not, I don't know. But I do know he dropped a little bit of speed by going through the electrical wires that way. Had a comeback. Ooh, in the industry, that's the hard one to say. Yep, I know what that. On a 518 where a guy got stuck and was slamming the transmission forward to reverse. Yep. And then they get frustrated and they just hammer it down while they're doing it and broke the sprag. Yep. That's not your fault. But trying to explain that, and yep. That's what I hated, doing this stuff with. No, it wasn't nothing you did. Need to get Wiki out to the shop. Exactly, John. And they'll do it too. People get frustrated. The first thing they want to do is just hammer that throttle down and start jerking on stuff. Yeah.
What's that?
When people get stuck
Oh, yeah.
stuck in an automatic and they're jamming it in reverse and jamming it in
Oh, yeah.
reverse drive. Yeah. I ran Cat 6 and conduit from the house to the shop. Also had telephone and cable. I think it's about 2 feet deep. Shouldn't be an issue, I hope. As long as it stays high and dry. Hey, Justin, good to see you, man. Hey, something looks like spell check went off wild on you there. Worked at the trans exhaust shop for a year. Only, I see. I only worked at the trans and exhaust shop for a year. Yeah, transmission guys they're a profession all on their own. Guy that knows how to do automatic transmission or any kind of transmission. Pretty good, pretty valuable. I'll fully admit, all I know how to do is just install them. We always took ours in. Western transmission or A1 transmission, and Shelley used to do all of our work. Because the guy that started A1 transmission, he used to work at Idaho Transmission. He went off and started his own shop a little closer to us. Especially when they get complicated. When they added overdrive to them, yeah. Turbo 350, Turbo 400, any 727, Torque Flight, 904, all of those, they're not too bad to work on. They're worth trying to rebuild yourself. They're all mechanical, so you can figure them out. And it's good stuff to learn. If you want, if you just want to play around with it, I recommend just find you an old tore up Turbo 350 and see if you can rebuild it. Because the parts are cheaper, and if you screw it up, you just screw it up. Just grab one out of the junkyard on the cheap and give it a go. You can do it.
All right, let's see if I can squeeze up underneath of it.
Has it got the running boards? Oh, sure enough, there's them running boards.
Yeah.
Chest
You know,
scratch.
funny thing about this. I was like, yeah, Veronica has running boards, so it'll be easier on the pups. You know, take them whatever. It'll be your, your daily for the time being. Yeah, no name nationals. Yeah, no, not hers anymore.
I was gonna say, can you come in from the backside around that? Yeah, that's usually the way I got to do it. Except for right about here is where my ponytail gets locked up in them wheels, and it takes me
Oh man,
from the creeper.
I used to have long hair. Yeah, that happened a couple of times. I even got it. Those old creepers with the little curvy wheels
Yep.
and flat discs.
That's the one.
My arm got caught up underneath it. Oh my God, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to move. I'm like, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. I was like pinned. I was terrible. Hey, Big Mike.
Hey,
Well, I didn't want to join earlier because I didn't think y'all wanted to see that carnival attraction. You guys have probably seen it before, the man eating chicken. Yeah, I was busy eating some chicken legs. My wife found a way to make chicken in the air fryer that is unbelievable.
oh, really?
All right.
Oh, yeah. I'd tell you, but I'd have to kill you, and then because she'd kill me.
Oh,
So,
man, I gotta hand it to you, man. You are doing 100 on that project, man.
Hell yeah.
man, I'll tell you what, people don't realize what it takes to put out a video every day.
Oh man,
Every day. And yeah, we're down to just 30 more days of videos. Crazy. It's crazy.
and
It's hard to believe we've already, knocked out like 60. Yeah. So I was asking about that rear end offset. It was just when I was looking at it, I was like, man, the old one had like 1.5 inches offset. And I was like, 4 inches. Wow.
that is a bit, but like I said, with what it is, you're not gonna hurt it.
Right on. Well, and it's not going to be, it's not going to be real hot or anything, it's a bone stock 318.
With an automatic,
Yeah.
leaf spring, or
But I do want a hammer on it.
You are on you. Yeah.
That's the thing is I do want a hammer on it. So I am getting the drive line done professionally. There will be no carriage bolt.
No carriage bolt this time?
No, not this time.
You done lost your signature, man.
Well, I heard they were going to be a little more stringent on tech. You know what I mean?
I'll just paint the carriage bolt gold and then slide it in.
Yeah.
It'll look grade 8, right?
What's that?
It'll look like a grade 8.
Yeah. I don't really know. All I know is it was what I had laying around. Yeah, I don't know anything about these 8.8s. All I know is I went online, I did some research, and I found information on them. Let's see. Right here. So I got this list that tells you the door code,
Uh-huh.
and you can just look on the door and figure out which gear ratio and all that is in it. And if it's a limited slip or open differential, I only really did this part here. There's a whole bunch of numbered ones that were just open differentials, And but I wanted a limited slip because I want to hammer on this sucker. I want to do the burnout contest and stuff like that, And so I don't really know much about them, but the gears. I mean, you can get a 355, 373, or 410, and they had all of them there. And I thought 410.
Good. Just wait before you launch it. Just put your foot on the brake, let it come up, take all the rear end, any kind of rear end slack out of it, and just let her go.
Right on, man. Yeah.
In fact, I drove one that had it had that much pinion slop in it, and I still got another 2 years out of it, and I was hammering on that thing.
Huh. Yeah. Well,
Should
from everything that I heard from people, they all said that it's a pretty dependable rear end, especially if you're just running a small block V8.
Yeah. Takes me a month to make a video.
Yeah.
It is when you're hammering like that. Oh, especially the way you're doing it, because you're actually doing them day for day.
Yeah, I'm. And in days whenever I'm like, man, I'm sorry, honey, but I got to go. I got to get out there. I got to make a video, and fine,
Like I said, I cheated last year.
I didn't.
And I'd do 5 videos
Yeah.
in one day, and then I'd just schedule them out for every day.
Right.
So I wasn't actually out there doing it every single day.
Yeah.
You are.
Well, I have to. I feel like I have to be on it every day if I'm going to make it in time, and I'm going to have a few days to test this thing and make sure that everything's working like it's supposed to. Now, obviously, I'm going to be a long ways from having my interior and all that stuff, and I mean that's whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Creature comfort's gonna live.
What's that?
That's the creature comforts. That
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I've got my ideas for my interior and all that, and my cousin is working on a seat for me. He had to kind of rebuild the frame of the original seat, and he's making progress on it, but it's just a hobby for him too. And so this is where the seat is right now. And
come on, work.
that's the back of it.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Is
see
that
he took some 3/4 EMT and bent it on the corners, to make the frame work. So yeah, it's coming along. So, but for now, if I have to, I've got I got a pair of not hoopty seats. I'm going to throw a set of BMW buckets in it. Well, I got these BMW bucket seats off the side of the street. This guy was standing out there. He's stacking them out there. And I was like, are you throwing those away?
Hey.
I said, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, because I put racing seats in here because, he's doing all this and that to it, upgrading it, put in a 5-point horn. I'm like, all right. And so he just set them out on the curb and going to throw them away. I'm like, okay, I put them in the back of the truck, take them home. I mean, because you never know, you know? And I just can't see stuff like that just get thrown to the curb and go thrown in the dump, you know? It's like, you can't do that. So, anyway.
And as long as you got the bones for it there, you
As
can
long as I got the what?
as long as you got the bones for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can. And I know this feller who sometimes now and again, like, kind of fabricates things. And I bet you I can figure out some pedestals for those things, you know, to make them sit in there right and all that, you know. I mean, temporarily anyway.
You got the sliders and everything?
I didn't even really look underneath there. I was like, great. I grabbed them, I took them home, and then I put them up in the rafters up in my shop. If you watch one of my videos sometime, you see I've got them hanging out of the rafters. So, yeah. I figure I'm sure I probably won't have the original seats ready. So, but just for the no names, yeah, it's fine.
Or whatever in there.
Right place at the right time. Got yourself some seats.
What's that?
The right place at the right time. Got yourself some seats.
Absolutely. I want to show you this though. This is what I couldn't believe. This is for the Blue Goose. I got tags for it and everything.
Hey, what year is that goose?
31. Yeah. I've been working on getting a bonded title ever since I got it. And
Nice.
so I had to jump through all their hoops and all that stuff. And the other day I went down there to get tags for my son's car. He just picked up a 2008 Crown Vic, decommissioned cop car, and it's got that 4.6 in it. And he's all stoked about that thing.
Those things are tanks.
Huh?
Those things are tanks.
Yeah, well, and the reason we really like it is because, you know, we know they do the maintenance on them, you know, and it was from the city of Purdy, and it was one of their cop cars.
The cop cars have the double sheet metal also. They'll have like an outer skin and an inner skin.
Huh.
So if you get if something falls on it or you get a ding, it's expensive to fix because.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also were thinking it's big enough and it's safe,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
So Leighton was asking, so Northwest Arkansas, I'm actually in Southwest Missouri, but we own property in Arkansas and Missouri, and we keep our Arkansas address for tags and stuff like that because administrative costs are a lot cheaper across the line. And I've got a friend who works at the DMV that I've known since I was 8 years old. That helps. So, yeah.
Hey, you're right on the border.
Yeah, if I go down to the bottom of my driveway, if I would walk across the pasture and over the hill, I'm in Arkansas. Yeah, I mean, I could almost throw a rock to Arkansas if I could throw anything with this bad shoulder. But
Man,
Yeah, brother, man, you've been killing it.
yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a lot. It really is. I mean, and I tell you, I'll be honest, you know, some days I just don't want to because, you know, it's just really hard to make yourself go do it every day. Yeah, I'm on live.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mama Hoop.
2 seconds.
Barrow said, hey.
Hey, nice to hear you. Tell him.
Oh, he can hear you.
Oh, I'll say nice to hear you. Oh, did you show him how hot it is here? It's hotter there.
I don't know if it's hotter there or not. Say hi.
Well, it's not
So,
that hot here.
It's just really muggy right now. It rained yesterday, and then the sun came out really hot, and then it rained today, and the sun came out really hot. It's supposed to do the same thing again tomorrow, you know, and when it's 90 degrees and 80% humidity, it's stifling.
Get about 5 minutes of rest at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, last night the low was 82.
Good Lord.
Yeah. With a dew point of 78.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. You walk outside and it's like, you feel like you're going swimming. It's terrible. It's terrible.
If it gets above 30% humidity, I'm used to the desert, so yeah. It wipes me out.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some cooler weather coming up here in a day or two, and it's supposed to be highs in the low to mid 80s and lows at night of 58 to 60. That'll be nice. I'm ready. I'm ready for summer to just start winding down. Oh yeah, Friday night at 10 p.m. your truck showed 101. Yeah, no kidding. Where are you at, Layton? Oli said dancing at 100 right now. Suck you outside. Yeah. Well, Northeast Arkansas, right on. Whenever it's real hot, and I know it's going to be real hot during the day, I can't sleep. I'll get up. I'll be out in the shop 4:30, 5 o'clock, and just go hit it early and put in a few hours before the sun, till the sun gets up about 9 o'clock or something, and then it just gets unbearable in there.
That's generally what I do. I come out here about 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, right around there.
Yeah.
But then I'm stupid. I stay out here all day.
Yeah. Well, I did that. I did that one day last week, and I made myself sick. Man. I mean, I got way too hot. I didn't drink enough water because, I get busy and I'm head down and doing stuff, and then I forget to drink anything, and I'm sweating, it's bad.
Here, that grocery store a while back had Powerades on sale for like 30 cents a bottle.
Really?
Loaded
Wow.
up as many as we could.
Yeah. I
made the
speaking of that.
mistake of drinking too many of them, though.
Yeah, hold on just 1 second.
I had to cut back.
I drink one a day.
Yep.
I got to get my electrolytes back, man, and that, otherwise I just drink water all day.
I got to where I was drinking one of them or two of them, depending on how bad it was, and about two of these with it.
Yeah. Well, I drink about 5 or 6 of these a day. And one Powerade. But
That's a better view there, Damien.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a lot better than laying on that creeper.
I just put up what do you call those, horse ties in front of the house?
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, I got to put up a hitching post out in the wife's stable. Well, my other garage, I guess.
Oh man.
The pony garage.
Yeah, well, it's
Beautiful sunset.
it's supposed to be a stable and an arena, and we've got a 24-foot tri-hull deck boat, got my 16-foot aluminum boat, got the 66 Charger, got the Blockbuster, and a bunch of lumber and all that stuff. She never has got to use it for an arena in there.
Oh,
But the cars are in out of the weather.
How big's the arena?
The arena part of it is 40 by 60.
Nice.
And the whole building is 40 by 100. And we have a hay loft in there for our square bales. And then underneath on one side, we have 3 stalls. And then on the other side, we have round bale storage for our round hay bales. Yeah, those mosquitoes or something, man. I'll tell you, but luckily we have a ton of flycatchers and martins out here. And I mean, they keep them handled for the most part. I get a mosquito bite maybe once a week.
And you got chickens and everything too.
Yeah, and we got a ton of chickens too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's starting to crow.
What's
Just-
one
it's
starting
just
to grow?
A young one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of our Australoops or something like that.
Astralorp.
Astralorp. That's how you.
Yeah, it's called an astralorp.
Okay.
Yeah, we have astralorps and we have Wyandottes and barred rocks, and we have Rhode Island Reds, and we have Cochins, and we've got a whole bunch of chickens. We got about 40 chickens. We got quite the barnyard variety. We have the Americanas, the Easter eggers.
Yeah.
You know, they lay little blue green eggs.
She's got. She found the site where you can order the chicks, and it usually takes about 3 months or so. And she's got all kinds of different kinds. So
Right. Yeah, we've got we started out buying our chickens, and now we've got 3 really good setting hens, and just whatever they pop out, that's what we get. We just let them all intermingle, you know what I mean? We don't care. We're not really about any specific breed or anything. I got most of mine at the auction, and there was this girl brought up a bunch of 6-week-old chicks, and for whatever reason, nobody's paying attention or whatever. And I got them for like $3 a piece.
mm-hmm.
I was like, I'll take all of them. You know, I mean, for $3 a piece, you can't buy, day old chicks at Tractor Supply for $3 a piece.
All right.
So
It's always a marathon. Time don't exist here. Gonna miss your chickens when you move? Where are you moving to, Shopcat?
Tennessee.
Come on down, man.
I hear that's the place for people to move to.
While you're coming, just swing by and snatch up Clay too. And Wild Rose, you can bring Wild Rose down with you. All you good Canadians are more welcome. Come on in.
Yeah. I don't know how people live that far north. We have to deal with some summertime stuff here, but we also have to deal with, some pretty hard cold in the wintertime. And, but we have all 4 seasons. And I really enjoy having all 4 seasons.
Yeah, you get to where there's just 1 or 2 seasons. There's too many people. The winters here are horrible,
Oh, I bet.
but I kind of like the population density. It equals out.
Right. Yeah, it keeps the less than desirables out for the most part. Yeah. Well, the thing I like about Southwest Missouri is it's not nearly as densely populated as Northwest Arkansas, but we're also just a hop, skip, and a jump from Northwest Arkansas. Anything you need is there, you know. It's not a long drive to go get whatever it is you need.
We got 4 seasons over there in Vancouver.
Is that a hotel or is that a?
Somebody was asking me the other day about, he says, oh, I know this guy over in Washington. He knows it in his. I said, is that Ollie? He goes, yeah, it is. How you know him?
Yeah.
Damien, I was going to ask you on your trick flows. Did you pull the valves and check the valve lab? One would think the quality would be better than the knockoffs, but is it necessary to double check them?
Yes. Yes and yes.
Both of my machinists here told me a long time ago, doesn't matter what brand of heads you're going to buy, always buy them bare and then take them to them, and then they will get them to there. The more expensive ones just means less work for them. The cheap ones, you just spend more at the machine shop for them to get them right.
Yeah,
But
you know what I like about the trick
that-
flows is the trick flows have locators, so that's a big plus. Last Edelbrock's I took apart, they didn't. So kind of get what you pay for. And for the price difference from Edelbrock to trick flow, it's a no-brainer.
Huh. So I didn't know what that plug was on top of my rear end, and Jason's garage, he just told me that it's for the rear speed signal for the anti-lock brakes.
Yep.
So in other words, I don't need it.
Ditch it.
I was like, dang, I was kind of hoping it was for like like a e-brake or something, you know what I mean? Or like or like that was, you could just lock in the rear end or something with it or something. Dang it. I have no idea. Like I tell everybody, I'm not a freaking mechanic, I'm a late bloomer on this stuff. I'm learning as I go,
You can
I love the
You
way
get-
you put that out on your channel too, brother. I mean, that is gold.
Well, it's just, you got to be honest about things. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, don't be a pretender.
And if you don't know, ask in your video.
Right.
And you'll get all kinds of comments giving you advice, suggestions.
Right. Yeah. See, and that's what I do. And I put out there, hey man, leave me a comment if anyone knows this, and people do, and it helps me out immensely. That's why I love this YouTube community that we've got here. This No Name Nationals group is, man, it's like we're a big old family, and we
are.
help each other out.
You can use that sensor and tone ring for a speedometer. You get a programmable speedometer for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you use the
Would
tone
one,
ring. Count the
would
teeth
one
on
for
it.
a boat work?
Yeah, they're GPS.
Okay. Well, I've got one for a boat. This little speedometer thing. It's got digital and dial.
Sweet.
It depends on what kind for the boat. You got the one where the water pressure shoots up to the speedometer, or do you have the paddle wheel?
Gosh, I don't know. I'll have to look at it. And I found it was in a box stuff I got at the auction. I have no idea. I just thought, well, that might come in handy. I'll throw it on the shelf.
I actually like the boat ones, the GPS boat ones, because
Yeah.
they're smaller, like a 3-inch, 3.5-inch speedometer, and they only go to 100 mile an hour or 120. So the needle, you get a full sweep on it, and I can see where 35 mile an hour is. Some of them, they're a little speedometer that goes to like 180,
Wow.
and then you're doing 30, and the needle is barely moved.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, you don't know how fast you're going, and the cops
Well-
kind of like to pull you over.
Right. The speedometer in the Goose, the original speedometer. I hooked that up in the transmission, and when I put it down into drive, I mean because there's no tension on it, you know what I mean? And so it's turning, and it's about 10 miles an hour without revving it or anything like that, you know what I mean? So I mean it's working in there. I'm not sure how accurate it's going to be, but
You might.
I think that's pretty cool. I'm using the original speedometer, and the older guy that I talked to at Peterson's Auto Electric the other day about my 6-volt stuff, he's trying to get me hooked up with this other guy. He lives way out in the country. I mean, this guy lives in the country, place you don't go after dark country. And anyway, this guy rebuilds old gauges with new hardware and basically uses the face, the needle, the, whatever of that, but he puts the new components in it so you can use it on a newer 12-volt system or whatever, but you still have that original look to it. So I'm going to try to get that done. But for right now, I've got some of those, the little 3-gauge setup. It's got my water temp, my oil pressure, and my voltage. And I'm going to hook those up temporarily in there until I can get those fixed, because I need to know how, what's going on while I'm driving it. But
the aftermarkets are actually a little better because exactly
what's that?
Those, aftermarket gauges.
Yeah.
You know exactly what it is. It's not cold and hot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're numerically graduated. Yeah. But my son Isaac, he works at O'Reilly's, and he gets the discount, employee discount, and he's bringing me home a fuel gauge too, so that I'll be able to have a fuel gauge hooked up too. So I won't have to guess.
On some of that stuff, though, like I was saying before, like a heater motor, windshield wiper motors, stuff like that, you want to drop to a 6-volt. Just run tip of my tongue.
Resistors.
Resistor.
Yeah, that was what Orland was saying. Orland was saying that there's this one kit that you can get that it's like basically a series of resistors. You can reduce it to 10, 8, 6, 4, whatever. I mean, for low voltage stuff, like some of those old lights, the little bitty teeny round light bulbs that they can't take.
You can cross over.
Yeah. So anyway, he said he's gonna get a hold of me this week on that stuff, but I probably won't have that. I got so many fish to fry right now. I'm just trying to get this thing. I want to get it on the ground, wheels on, driving out of the shop. That's my goal by the end of this month. I'm going to have it wheels on the ground, driving out the door.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to get it.
Not bad for something that was a lawn ornament for 50 years.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
And you got video of it where it was originally sitting and everything.
What's that?
You got video of that car.
Yeah. Whenever I picked it up out of my uncle's yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, like I said, it was a lawn ornament for 50 years. And some of my family's pretty upset that I ended up with it. The
Oh, really?
daughter of the original owner, she was pretty upset that her uncle sold it to me instead of back to her. But he said, what are you going to do with it? You're not going to, I mean, her and her husband are both disabled. They can't afford to have someone else fix it up. They can't fix it up themselves. It's just going to sit out in the yard and rust. You know, and I told my uncle before he sold it to me that I would give him my word that I would do everything in my power to have that thing running and driving in less than a year. I got it in November or December. I got it in December, and here we are in August, and my plan is to have it running and driving by the end of this month.
And you will.
Yeah. So I'm sure I will. And I've planned to have it completely restored, you know, my type of restoring. You know, I am going to do the interior in it. I'm going to use some Masonite for backing on my door panels, and I'm just going to put the vinyl on it. You know what I mean? And then on the inside above the lower door panels, I'm going to use the wood veneer, and I'm going to put wood veneer inside of it on the upper half and on the dash, you know, and up on the roof, on the ceiling and stuff. It's all going to be wood veneer. And it's going to be a pretty dang cool old car when I get it done. And eventually I'll work on some of the body stuff, you know, getting the, you know, the rusty parts replaced and all that, you know, but
When you
for
get
now,
to
just,
that point and
what's
you're
that?
when you get to that point and you're ready to start laying your vinyl or whatever over to make your door panels, you can get that spray adhesive on Amazon. It's actually professional grade stuff. You
Yeah.
by the quart or by the gallon, and it is super good stuff. Then go to her plate and get a primer gun, spray gun, and
Okay.
sit and spray it with that. Totally worth it.
Cool.
Otherwise,
Right on.
you go broke buying Super 7 3M.
Yeah.
adhesive. And it doesn't
Yeah.
quite the stuff you can, you know, actually spray in a gun.
Right.
Way cheaper. It works a lot better.
I'm thinking about going with like something like a classic black diamond tuck, you know, something like that. Dr. Art.
Doctor's in the house.
Yeah, I was just thinking it'd look really tight with some of that black diamond tuck on there, you know, or maybe even blue. I might go with the blue in there if I can find it, you know, but you know, black diamond tuck is like everywhere. You can pick it up online or whatever. I've been looking at different options, but my cousin wants to put my logo, the new Blue Goose logo, in the back of the seats.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that stuff. It's called New Leather, but it's spelled. It's not spelled leather. It's marine grade vinyl is actually what it is, but it's real stretchy. You can
Yeah.
put that stuff into any kind of design you want.
Cool.
It's a little on the spendy side, but works
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Well, I figure, you know, I'll be working on this car for some time. You know, it's going to be a long project, and I can't wait till people see the running boards that I'm going to put on it. I've got one of the original running boards, but it's pretty well toast. and so I'm just going to use it for a pattern.
Uh-huh.
But I that's all I'll say is you're going to dig the running boards.
Way cool. I'm excited.
You ain't gonna give us a hint what it's gonna be made out of?
Metal.
Good choice.
Let's see, 314.90 spray
Yeah.
can right now.
What?
Oh, I'm just reading one of the comments.
3M90, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, still at it.
Letting the boys outside.
Oh, yeah. He's got some fuzzy doggies. How many acres you got there, Damien?
25.
Nice.
Right?
Nice. It's nice to live out in the country, isn't it?
Oh man, it is
Yeah,
it's so nice.
I couldn't live in town anymore. I just don't. I don't know how I could. I would end up being the guy on the news, who had a beef with his neighbor, and and then they found him in my backyard, and Okay, you're right. He
Well,
wouldn't be in my backyard.
I
I'd
mean,
bury him in the other neighbor's backyard.
I've got a backhoe and a wood chipper.
I could pretty much have someone get lost in a hurry here.
Yeah.
That's a nice place, Damien.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love living in the country, man. Except, there are certain things that are really tough about living in the country. It's like having to work on your driveway all the time after rain. Like, we live up on top of the hill. Our driveway is like an eighth of a mile around the corner and up the hill, twisty, turny. And when it rains, it cuts ruts, and, it's like a knee-deep rut, and you got to fix it.
Yep. I got
And
patina for that.
We thought about trying to get it asphalted, but it's like, well, then, I'm just going to have to keep paying to have it fixed, because rain doesn't take any prisoners, man.
Especially where your driveway is.
One
It's
of the first tractors I bought was had a belly plow just for the driveway. We call
Yeah.
her patina. It's 1954 Super C.
Huh.
Yeah. There's a saw blade for it.
What's up, Tim Windsor? Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think I'm going to have to skate off of here. I just thought I'd drop in for a few minutes and chat with you. I'm going to go
Great.
take a shower so Mama Hoop doesn't make me sleep outside.
yeah, we're coming up on 3.5 hours. I think that's pretty good for this week.
Yeah.
Up all hours.
Well, guys, I appreciate everybody. And thanks for the advice, brother. I really appreciate it. And,
No problem.
I can't wait to Sykeston, man, till we can all actually get back together again.
And remember, I'm watching you.
Yeah. Well, you just remember, I'm going to take you for a ride in this goose, man. I think you'll be impressed
That's gonna be
with it. Huh?
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be anyone who wants to take a ride in the goose around through the pits or whatever, man, just hit me up, man. We'll go tooling around. And I'm thinking about going down there on Wednesday as well. And so that I can already be there, to help with the setup and all that stuff. And then, so
Are you
if
gonna
anyone's
again?
going to be there early, we'll have time to goof around and all that.
Are you going to camp this year, or are you going to hotel?
Oh yeah, I'm camping this year.
Camp?
Yeah, Mama, we ain't going.
Mama says she ain't going. That smell of gas and tires made her sick last year.
Oh,
So-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
I got a
Yeah.
room just in case.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, fellas. Well, I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a good night.
See you, Mike.
Great seeing you, brother.
All right. See you, brothers.
Barrows, I'm gonna get out of here too. I'm gonna eat supper and hit the hay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I got to get ready here. Stephen Holtz is coming back this way this evening, so I got to get he's staying out in the motorhome, so I got to get it all ready for him again.
Cool.
My guest room. I got a mobile guest house.
Oh yeah. Go on inside. Come on.
It's great seeing you tonight, Damien.
Good seeing you, Barrows. Thanks for the live, man. Thanks
No
for having
problem.
me.
I think we will. I think we'll move Saturday pickup to Sunday pickup. This is pretty nice.
Yeah, it is. It is nice to have a live on Sunday. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I'll
All
see
right.
you.
We'll catch you next week.
Yep.
And everybody in the chat, thanks for coming out. I tried to show you a little bit on how to pull that steering column off. I was going to do it on a video, and I thought, let's just do it on live. I hope you got something out of that. If not, well, get out there and break something. It's fun to fix. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Ollie, Zero G Mopar, Tony's Hot Rod, anybody that you've seen in the chat here that you haven't subscribed to, go check these guys out, because these guys are really putting the work in, and they're putting out some amazing material. Till next week, get out there and get some metal hot, and we'll all get these things back on the road where they belong, right? Or we'll just sit around and dream about how they're supposed to be on the road. Thanks for coming out, guys. We'll catch you next week.